So here it is, the final episode of the year in review recording 2022. The year has come to an end on December 31 in the Western world, and also China had its New Year's event last weekend. And so also is our year in review recording coming to its traditional end, but not without one final epic episode. In the previous episodes, we have explored the cutting-edge innovations and technologies shaping the future of the biotech industry with some of the most brilliant minds in the field. From Kurt Höller of EIT Health to Albert Missbichler from Fianostics, Heil from the new meat company, Mauricio Agudelo and Lina Toro from Bialtec, Kimberly Cornfield from the UCL, Collin Ewald from ETH Zurich, and Guido Gualdoni from G.ST Antiviral. We have had some truly enlightening conversations, but we saved the best for last. I'm thrilled to bring you again Dr. Thomas Schubert, CEO at 2bind's, a provider of biophysical outsourcing solutions for the drug discovery and biologics fields. 2bind's has a track record of over 1,400 successfully completed tasks in research projects with over 350 customers in the last 11 years. Learn how they are revolutionizing the way we study molecular interactions, protein stability, and much, much more. So don't miss out this episode. It's the last one of the year in review recording, and you wouldn't want to miss it. Join me as we dive into the world of biophysics with 2bind's. Thomas, good to see you.
Hello. Hi, folks.
We're coming now from antiviral infections to the world of biophysics. Thomas, maybe you say some words to introduce you to Guido.
Yeah. So first of all, Guido, I also have kids, and I can completely share the point about the respiratory diseases in a moment. It's crazy in kindergarten. So also from my side, please be quick. There's a need.
I will.
It's really annoying. So everything is in the kindergarten. It's crazy. Yeah. My name is Thomas. I'm managing director at 2bind's. We are a company in close to Munich in Regensburg, and we're biophysics folks. So we are offering outsourcing solutions for drug discovery and drug development, and basically supply people with analysis formats and assay formats. So that's who I am, and I was really amused and it was very nice to listen to you, Guido, about your approach, and crossing fingers for every new thing that you are going to develop. Really cool.
Thank you, Thomas. It's very nice to hear. I'm very curious to learn what you guys are doing.
Sure. Perfect. I think, first of all, Christian, thanks for the opportunity.
Welcome.
It's really a pleasure. I mean, our last discussion is, I think, like 3 weeks ago, I guess. So it's nice to be back and have this. It's pleasant to be here again. Really cool.
It's good to see you again. I have a question to you too. We were talking about entrepreneurship today, and I have 2 entrepreneurs now in the call. The same question to both of you. So when a person, a scientist, approaches you and asks you for advice from your experience, what's the single most important advice you would give to a scientist who would like to found a company? Guido.
Oh, I have to go first. I need to think about it.
You have to go first.
Okay, I also have to think about it. But I think good ideas, there are several good ideas out there, but sometimes the business model is not clear. I think scientists don't consider that bringing an idea to market really needs more than an idea. There are financial aspects behind. You have to have a proper team. You have to have the environment to do so. And sometimes a good scientific idea is honestly not good enough. So surround yourself with well-known people from the field and discuss with them. I think that is a very important advice that I could give, even though our business is maybe more easy because it's a fee-for-service business model that we have. But for example, with a classical drug discovery approach, I would definitely, first of all, talk to a lot of people before I do anything. An idea is not enough.
I mean, I definitely couldn't agree more, Thomas. I think, while you were starting out, I thought about pretty much the same. And I think, Christian, we talked about it last week as well, that, sometimes when you start out with a company or a spin-off, or you want to start something of your own, you think that the idea is kind of the big part of what you're going to be doing, right? But the very, very big part is actually like the larger fraction is actually ahead of you still, right? And it's something that is heavily underestimated. But I think I also want to finish with what we talked about beforehand. Be aware of your optimism bias. Talk to people in the field. Try to get some, objective resonance from what you're planning to be doing. And yeah, I think talking makes a lot of sense. You need to be I think the single most important characteristic of an entrepreneur is to be proactive. And this is what you need to be doing, right? Proactively talk to people, go out there, shape your idea, and be aware that it's going to be a very long and, but probably, hopefully a very, also a fruitful path.
Entrepreneurship is not the way to quick money. Playing the lottery is much faster. Last week I had Jivan from Playfair Capital, and she also emphasized product market fit. So I couldn't agree more to what you say. Guido, thank you very much for your time. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and let's catch up in the new year and maybe we do a podcast episode together about your company.
Yeah. It was great talking. Thomas, all the best. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to both of you as well.
Have a great time.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thomas, it's good to see you again.
Absolutely.
How was your 2022?
How was my 2022? I'm good, I think, overall. So I'm really happy. It was a challenging year for us as company. As 2bind, indeed, it was challenging. There were challenges starting with a war, then COVID lockdown, then inflation, recession combined, all those things. But still, I'm very proud about the team here at 2bind. Even under these challenging conditions, we made a brilliant job. Very happy. Good year.
What excited you the most in 2022?
What excited me the most? First of all, I mean, honestly, on a trivial level, it was very exciting to go out again and meet people. That was also a little bit the thing that we had in our podcast that we had some weeks ago. It was really, I'm still excited about this. It's really a pleasure to meet people again. All good. Also, like now having this podcast together in the stream format, it's great. But having really some person in front of you and really having a good chat, this is something I really missed, and I was very exciting to have that back. And of course, this excited me personally best. Exciting, as I mentioned, I was really excited about how things went here at the company and how we developed. This was exciting for me too. And I think that's it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. When I think last year and the year before, it was mostly sitting at home because everything was shut down and closed. And now I can go to a restaurant around the corner, invite some people, have a lunch, have dinner, or just going to the gym, meeting people, or also conferences we met at the Bio Europe in Leipzig. It's so awesome to have that back.
Absolutely. I missed this a lot. So also on a personal level, really, I missed the connection to a lot of friends in the business realm that I really missed. And of course, you can write, and you can even have a digital beer together, but a real beer is the better way.
I don't know, digital beer. It's yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's but having a real wine or beer, that's much better.
I mean, I think for me, it's a good balance to have some conversations digitally, like recording video podcasts. It would be very, very challenging to fly all people in and to exchange information. But once in a while, meeting in person, I think it's necessary. Business doesn't flourish without that.
I can absolutely agree to that. It has to be a good mix, yeah.
It's what I can't replicate with the digital world. So the digital world is great when I know people already. So reaching out to people I know and inviting them to a podcast is possible. Yeah. We met basically by accident, serendipitously. This was pure chance that we didn't agree to meet in Leipzig. Yeah. We just bumped into each other.
Yeah, that's true.
And this doesn't happen. I never found a way to replicate that in the digital world. Did you find a way to do that?
No, I mean, there were some approaches also to have this kind of digital meetings at conferences, but I had the impression that this is not really leading to the right direction. It's because people sit at home and the daily work is ongoing, and so it's just another date in the time slot where you have a meeting, and there's not when we met in Leipzig, it was like pumping in each other as you just described. It was because both of us were there, and we were interested in learning about new people. And not about specific topic, but just like, who are you? What are you doing? And this format is, I think that this is difficult to find this informal, just being friendly. Hey, how are you doing in a digital world? I'm not sure if this is possible. Metaversum, I don't know, but I haven't found a way.
The metaverse has, the technology already existed 20 years ago. So it's basically nothing different than what people used in multi-massive online role-playing games. It's fun, it's entertaining, but it's still not the same. So still this community also thrived on meeting in real life. And when I go through the last 20 years when I was in business, I think most of the business evolved really from real life meetings that were not really planned at conferences or evening events or lunch events. And the minority evolved from set up meetings through conference systems.
Yeah, I think for us, at least, because we have a clear profile of what we can do, and people can read up on that, and it's clear that people come to us for outsourcing solutions in biophysics. There is no misinterpretation possible. So some of those meetings, and when you lock them in a meeting conference or account, this can be very efficient. But I fully agree. The best, let's say, long-term relationships came from a situation which is different from that. On a meeting, but evening event, or you just met and had a good chemistry between each other, and then there's some interest in each other, and you learn, and you like each other, and then suddenly it happens that you work together. So I fully agree. Both is possible, but both possible and important.
The thing is with innovation, in my opinion, so with companies, most of the companies I work with are trying to start something new. And sometimes when people start something new, it's not really clear what they need, which help they need, because it's a novel idea, it's a new idea. So the plan has to be made yet. And very often people are the first time doing this thing, and most entrepreneurs in deep tech are first timers because it's a very novel idea, it's a novel technology. So what I found very helpful is meeting random people at events to just be creative together. And you can do that in 5 minutes over coffee. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm looking for. And then the person says, okay, I know this guy. Or I did a similar thing in that way. Maybe you talk to this guy. And I never found this happened really in the digital world.
Yeah, I fully agree. This is this spirit of just like having a close idea and bringing this to some point. This is difficult in a digital world in my eyes. Yeah.
When we talk about the big lessons besides digital worlds and real life worlds, what was your biggest lesson of 2022 that you learned?
I think there were two lessons. One lesson is a lesson on a learning from a negative situation, and the other one is from a positive situation. And the negative situation is that you mentioned it just in a second at the beginning of the discussion in a small sentence, is supply chains. So we really learned the lesson that supply chains are difficult in a globalized world, and specifically in an unstable political situations. Supply chains are extremely important, and our customers, they are drug discovery guys that work with molecules from all around the globe, and they send it to us to Regensburg, to our laboratory, and we analyze these things. So the samples come from different areas. And so we had a lot of molecules coming from close to Kiev, from a large supply of chemical matter in a mine. They had to temporarily shut down because of the war. So it was really taking a lot of effort to solve that. In the same moment, a few months later, there was the Shanghai lockdown, and every protein that was produced in Shanghai was stuck there. So it was really a lesson. I mean, it's not my personal level because it's the decision of the customer where to purchase these things. But my lesson is that short supply chains and accurate supply chains, that you should prefer that and not go only for other factors to decide why you choose this or that supplier. This was a lesson that was hard for us because, of course, we depend on these things, and obviously we need to organize ourselves according to when samples arrive at our laboratories. Then we can start our job. And if the sample doesn't arrive, then we cannot do our job. So it was a lesson that I learned. And a good lesson was, on the other hand side, that just like 2 weeks ago, we had an internal customer survey. So we sent out a survey to our customers. And first of all, from 70 customers that we approached, more than 40 answered, which is already a great success. And then what they told us was extremely positive. And the lesson, what I learned from that, is that we are at most of the points that we are wanted to, address in the last years. We're on the right track. And there's a good lesson. So I'm really happy about this. So these two kind of lessons, I think, I learned from this year.
That's great. That's great to hear that your customers love what you do. It's always good to hear that.
So for us, it's only an internal thing. We share that with the laboratory and with the staff, because this is for our internal review or recapitulation of what we do. And so the feedback was extraordinarily good. And so I think we do something good, I guess. Yeah, this was cool.
When we think of the world of biophysics, what were breakthrough moments in biophysics in 2022?
I think application of biophysics, I would say breakthrough moments for applications in biophysics. I think that's maybe the better wording. Biophysics itself, of course, it also changes. There are new technologies coming out, and indeed very interesting ones. But I think the importance of biophysics in 2022 was even more pronounced, or more, let's say, valued. The reason is because, first of all, a lot of different approaches now need a direct binding determination, drug discovery, antibody development, and so on and so on. And it turns out that this is extremely important. And I think that is definitely a breakthrough, that the biophysics, 10 years ago, it was more a side life science part, and now it's getting more into the center of drug discovery projects and getting more and more important. Of course, to be fair, it's not just 2020 effort, it's already started before. So there's a constant increase of biophysics need. It's not just the 2020 year that made all that, but I think it turns out that this is more and more important, and I call this a breakthrough.
That's good to hear. I also was amazed that the Biophysics podcast has a very good reception. So I saw it on LinkedIn that many people liked it and listened to that. It seems to be more and more interest in the industry around this topic, which was very great to see. When we talk about the future trends now about biophysics, where do you see this area heading to?
First of all, the throughput will increase. So throughput means that you can run more samples in a shorter time, and by doing that, you can of course achieve more. Achieve more in terms of you can screen larger libraries, or you can make more detailed analysis, and this means it will get more share on the complete analysis market, let's call it. And here there is definitely trends going to higher throughput, and even throughput that could match up with some of the biochemical assays where enzymatic activities are read out. So this is something that definitely is something that is coming. There's a trend. And the other trend is to also use biophysics in more difficult environments. So far, biophysics has been done always in a context of in vitro artificial buffer systems where a completely random buffer is chosen, nothing to do with the cell, and the trend goes towards more, let's say, close to native analysis, or even analysis on whole cells. So there's, for example, the Cryoptic system that comes out, or came out 5 days ago, officially launched, which is now the Helix Cyto, it's called, which can analyze kinetics on a cell, which is amazing. So you can read out an antibody binding to a cell, and this is just mind-blowing, the opportunities that now opens up. So this is a really cool tool. Therefore, there are these kind of trends in biophysics indeed.
Where did these breakthroughs come from? Why didn't we see that? What was the change in technology that was necessary to generate this breakthrough?
I think, first of all, because of a growing need over the years, more money went into that area. And then I have to also say that in the last, let's say, 10, 12 years, quite a number of very innovative new companies have been brought up, like Nanotamper, Cryoptics, DBS, and others, which are really like innovative per se, and they now benefit from having this settled biophysics community, but now growing with new technologies. And I think that's where the innovation comes from. Very good people together with a growing need.
So you said, as the first sentence was, there's more money flowing into this area. So money seems really to be the fuel necessary to bring technology to fruition.
Yeah, and the need, of course. I mean, if there's a certain need, and if a good scientist has a sense of entrepreneurship as well, that's also needed. And there's a potential situation where also money can be earned, then I think that's also part of the fuel, yes. Not purely money, but part of the fuel is also money, of course, sure.
What are your plans for 2023 with your company?
We have actually indeed a big plan. So we will move to a larger lab space, or at least we start to restructure our laboratory. We will get a new lab space with more than 1,000 square meters. And this is, of course, quite a big part of what we do next year, at least on my end, because obviously this has to be coordinated. And building up a lab is not easy, but it's a great achievement, and we're really looking forward to that. And then, of course, it's also getting more people in there, and there are also some ideas to bring in more technologies in here to be able to support our customers even in a better way by having more than than the 11 technologies that we have in the moment. So that's the plan for next year, yeah. And also the plan is to visit more people and enjoy the conversations.
That's a very good plan. Which conferences do you have on your program?
So the BIOS, I will definitely go to the Bio Convention. It's in Boston. I will do some MedChem approaches, the Festival of Biologics, MedChem conferences, the Festival of Biologics in Basel will be there. I'm at the Bio Korea. I'm not sure about the Bio Japan this year, next year. I'm not fixed on that. So in total, I think it's 6 or 7 conferences I can do. I have to admit, I also need to take a little bit care about the family.
This is understandable.
Yeah, I think this is definitely something that I'm excited about next year, 23.
What about you mentioned BioKorea? What's so special in the Korean ecosystem? Mm-hmm. That's so attractive for your company.
Absolutely good question, because the Koreans start to build up a quite intense and versatile, or let's say lively biotech community. So they really now push companies by very interesting, let's say, concepts of how they can build up their business in Korea. And of course, there's money starting to go in there. Also, larger companies are now settling there. And so there's a new ecosystem being developed. And of course, it's a good approach to be there early on and to be present. So we have already some very good connections to Korea and a very successful work with those guys. And it's a good opportunity to go there to visit them, first place. And then, of course, BioKorea itself, it's a good opportunity to present ourselves to the new environment that is growing there.
Yeah, Korea is a lovely country. The last time I was there, I think, was in 2017, so it's a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. Would be great to fly there. Mm-hmm. You mentioned before your supply chain problems. Mm-hmm. I had this a couple of times in this recording session. Mm-hmm. Was it really that challenging, price-wise and logistics-wise?
I think you have to differentiate between 2 different kind of supply chains. The supply chain for our consumables and our material that we need for our analysis internally, we had on a good control. So here, a few plasticware stuff was a little bit troubling to get. This was not a big challenge, I would say. But this is also due to the fact that most of our suppliers are from Europe, specifically from Germany, and they are quite reliable. So here, from this perspective, it was not a big challenge. But as I mentioned, so our customers, which are drug developer, which source their molecules, which we don't produce molecules. We neither produce proteins nor we do produce any chemical matter. We don't do that. So people need to send us these things. And they purchase this in different countries. And obviously, then there was the Suez Canal thing, then there was the Shanghai lockdown, then there was the start of the Ukraine war, and all those things come together. And then suddenly a situation emerges that nobody can tell you when samples arrive. And here, minimum, I would say 5 to 8 or 5 to even 10 boxes with dry ice full of molecules arrive every day. And so the logistics team had no idea where things are, or at least they tried to get figured out, but nobody could tell them the package is here and you have to do that, because there was chaos. So this was troubling. So it is more the supply chain of bringing together the material that we need to analyze. So this was the trouble, not the internal resources.
So in principle, unpredictability of the supply chain. So not knowing when what will arrive, in what state, and weeks later, months later.
Exactly. And of course, biological material is not super stable. So you need to refill dry ice. You never know, how does the sample arrive here? Is it still in good shape? You don't even know if there was at some point maybe no dry ice in there anymore, and it was just added. Nobody tells you. So this is difficult. And if, really like the high quality packages, which have a temperature logger in there, they are simply very expensive. A lot of people send this by other means, and there is no control of what's in there. So you don't know how the temperature changed, and you don't know how the biologics react on that. And so this was a bit challenging, I have to admit. So for us, for the customer, of course, because they're in the same boat as we are. So we would love to start. They would love us to start, but nobody could start because the things are not here. So it was a bit annoying, I have to say. But we found very good solutions for that, and the team did an incredible job, and the result and the present that the customer gave us was this incredible survey at the end of the year. So everybody's happy, which is a good sign. But it was challenging.
Do you see that the supply chains are going back to normal, or are there still some challenges left?
There are still some challenges left, but everything goes better now. It seems to be more predictable. So, as you mentioned, the unpredictability was the main problem because you never know what happened. And now things are getting more ordered and more in a clear way. And I mean, everybody can, agree that a package is sent to you maybe a week later, if the package a week later will arrive. So then it's fine. But if it doesn't arrive a week later, and maybe also 2 weeks later not, or even 3 weeks later not, this is the problem. So no, everything is now getting back to normal, I would say. At least this is what we see.
Thomas, I'm coming to the end of this recording session from about 12 p.m. this afternoon to now. And I can ask the final question now to you. Your big prediction for 2023. What will happen in 2023?
What will happen in 2023?
Open big question at the end.
So first of all, from a perspective of biophysics and biotechnology, so it is, I think overall one can say that we think that the investment landscape will change a little bit. I think there might be overall less money in the market. For us as a company, as a CRO, as a provider of analytical services, I doubt that this will really harm us because people will probably still do a lot of outsourcing, even more pronounced. So I think that will happen. But of course, my hope is, of course, that people try to or should try to listen also to the silent voices. Not only the loud and strong voices are that one that you should be listened, because sometimes these strong voices don't have very, or maybe they have very weak ideas. So I hope that this will happen, that people listen more to also silent voices. So yeah, I hope for that. But it's a hope. I don't know if it happens.
I couldn't agree more. Just because somebody is loud and outspoken doesn't mean that he or she is right.
Correct. That's the essence of all.
That's, I think, a great final word for today's recording session. Thomas, it's always a pleasure speaking to you. You bring such a great spirit to every conversation. And I'm pretty sure that you are one of the big success factors in your company.
Thank you so much. I just can give back the warm words. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and to have this conversation in this meeting format. It's really great experience. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining. I wish you, your team, and your family Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Likewise. I wish you all the best.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Thanks for tuning into this episode. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Now that you have heard from the experts at 2bind's, you are one step closer to revolutionizing the way you think about biophysics. Remember, knowledge is power. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve, be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay updated on our latest episodes. Your support helps the team reach more people who can benefit from our content. Plus, it's the easiest way to ensure you don't miss a thing. So go ahead and click that subscribe button. We'll be here waiting for you. And don't forget to give the podcast a like and leave a comment. It helps the team know that it's on the right track. Thank you for being a part of the community. Have a great day.